Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on when you're listening to this. Welcome to the 38th of hopefully many episodes of Bard Advice, a D&D slash TTRPG slash life advice podcast, wherein I, Charles, Chaz, Yazik, the DM, the Bard, however you may know me, do my best to answer your questions that you submit. On that note, at the top of the pod, we like to remind everyone to please send all questions, concerns, queries, complaints, compliments, criticisms to bardadvice@gmail.com. It also looks like Bardadvice, if that helps you remember. If you need merch, you can get some over at manshorts.com. And if you would like to contribute to anything that I'm doing musically, notably the development of my third album, Organized Lightning, you can do so directly via PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo, all of which are Yazik, Y-A-H-Z-I-C-K. Hope everybody's doing well. I've had quite the day. Quite the day. Justin is in my chat already asking when I'm going to be on Baldur's Gate 3. After this, hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to Bard Advice. I would like to start things off by telling everybody that I almost didn't do the podcast today, and I thought, you know what? No, I'm going to do it because I had a rough day, and I don't know if anybody else had a rough day, but I wouldn't want to contribute further to that person's rough day by not doing the podcast. So here we are. It's Podcast City, baby. Welcome back, everybody. Hi, all of the regulars. Flint, Avram, River, Pirate, Chris. Welcome. So, Ron and Ruby, hi. Let's get into some things. Top of the pod, we do also like to extend a thanks to all of our viewers, but notably our patrons, super chatters, subscribers. Anybody that's viewing, please make sure to like the video, like the podcast on your respective platforms, rate it. Anything that we can do for the algorithm. Good stuff. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Let's go and get into some stuff. So, Art Corner this week is going to be a plug for One Piece. The live-action show has been on Netflix, and yeehaw, I think it's great. Now, I'll be honest, I have not actually finished all 8 episodes. I've only seen, I think, 4, maybe only 3. But I just can't praise the cast. The casting choices enough. It's just so clear that Oda was so heavily involved. And now that it's been produced, all of these cool stories coming from behind all of these cool stories coming out from behind the scenes about like how decisions were made, and it's just so cool. It's just really great. And selling the cowboy hat. That's Cowboy Al. He's later. Yeah, I might introduce Cowboy Al to Bard Advice at some point. Maybe we'll have like a Bard Advice special episode where we stream Baldur's Gate 3 or something. That'd be funny. Yes, Olin, an anime adaptation that doesn't suck. Indeed. Listen, I have seen a lot of really bad live-action anime adaptations. A whole bunch. A lot. And this is really good. Now, obviously, it's not a shot-for-shot remake of the manga or anime. There are some changes. There are some major changes. But again, Oda kind of oversaw all of this. So, I mean, he's the source material. The fact that he was involved and the fact that... Oh, and I'll be fair, I actually didn't see Kenshin. I should be honest about that. I haven't seen it. But yes, check out One Piece. It's on Netflix. I highly recommend it. Even if you've never read the manga or seen the anime, it very well might get you into it. These are three of the main characters. The one in the middle being Luffy the story's really about him, but on his left is Nami, his navigator, and then on the right, Zoro, his first mate / swordsman. It's just so good. It's a D&D campaign, and anybody that's interested in D&D would be interested in One Piece. I just think it seems synonymous to me. It seems they go hand in hand. So, yeah, it's a good anime adaptation to live action. So, good on them. Glad they did it. Let's get into some questions. Let's talk some D&D stuff. Or maybe not necessarily D&D. It could be other things. I'm not sure completely what's lined up. It's been a long day. I've been going for a long day. The first question Oh boy, howdy. I need to get my names up. The first question, according to the names, is from the Ritzes. The Ritzes ask, a while back, after DMing for several decades, I decided to take a break and be a player. I RP'd my PC with the quirk of overconfidence. I would boldly, or rather, I would announce that he would enter situations boldly before anyone else could react. Years later, it still comes up in conversation on a weekly basis. Since then, it's been great to see the quirks of my players RP. Since then, it's been great to see the quirks my players RP for their characters. What are some of the more fun quirks you've seen at the table? Well, I didn't. First, I want to see what chat says, because I'm interested to see like what quirks you've got out there. Throw some quirks at me. Didn't get a notification. Was going through new playtest 7 Barbarian. New playtest 7 Barbarian looks fun. Fighter can't action surge cast anymore. Yeah, well, you know, fighters get extra attacks faster, don't they? Oh, yes, thank you, Pirate. And also, for anybody who's interested in joining sort of like an after session Discord, there's a link there. If anybody's interested in that, in the chat. My wizard was a germaphobe and would prestidigitation everything. A forest gnome that's racist toward deer. What? He just hates deer? Well, aren't deer invasive mostly? Oh no. They took my cowboy hat away. I don't know why they would do that. Ridiculous. Bard after advice. Oh, that's a cool name for it. Wow, okay, sorry, we got way distracted here. We're talking about quirks, so I guess this is kind of quirky to be talking about all this other stuff. A klepto thief who doesn't sell his stolen stuff but takes it from the party and keeps it for future use and gives it back if asked. Okay, so there's a couple offhand. A lot of my characters are kind of quirky. You know, like Verena had a cocaine problem, and then Augustus Montgomery announced himself, or rather introduced himself loudly to people repeatedly. People that knew him, people that had been knowing him, and would typically hold up a monocle alongside that. Studebaker was quirky beyond just having the general forgetfulness and the general wandering off and being a liability for the party. He also had the whole shoe cobbler thing going on, so that was kind of fun, and that came up in RP moments. Leroy Jenkins after Barty. A friend of mine played an assassin who was a completionist. His party was not amused when he spent his first action to finish attaching the silencer to his gun after the NPC spotted them. Nice. Yeah, quirks are really fun. I think they make all the difference in the character and can make a normally, or rather otherwise lackluster character kind of have some character. I kind of rest on them, honestly. Those are some of the more fun things, like I've mentioned before about Tantor hating oranges and being super into peach turnovers and stuff. That's the good stuff. It's the fun things that people remember. The same wizard would use a pipe of smoke monsters to get a read on people he met. Or to get a read on people he met. My DM would allow me to roll insight to see what I see. Oh, yeah. Favor the NPCs with different monsters, animals, creatures being made in the smoke. Oh, that's kind of cool. Had a player be a green weed elf. Kind of like a wood elf, but with buds instead of leaves. That's cool. Yeah, I want to stat that out. Give me a stat block for that. Had 3 characters that thought they were each other in a past life. Whoa. You know, that's funny you say that. There's a question in here from Pirate, and it's actually from a while ago, too. I don't know why I missed it or how I missed it, but I'm glad I found it because it's a cool question. We're going to talk about it later. 3 characters that thought they were each other in a past life. That's cool. I also like doing buddy character stuff, like duos are kind of fun. Or even if it's just like a little group of people and everybody kind of has their place in the party. Not my actual character, but my party has a house elf that hates the Demilich the bottom. They brought home. Rails on them all the time. The coolest name, Yggdrasil. In fact, that is one of the coolest names I've seen in a while. And we've said that before. when Yggdrasil stops by. It's real good. It might even warrant an episode name. There's a... well, I guess it'd be Yggdrasil. I don't know. It depends on pronunciation. It depends on how you pronounce the syllable. Had a wizard with a pipe of endless smoking. Oh, that's fun. Just walk around just constantly blazing, smoking. Yeah, well, there's some quirks for you. That was pretty quirky stuff. Yeah, I do think that that's the best stuff. It's the stuff that you remember, and it's the stuff you remember about people, right? Like, those are the things that we kind of like and or hate about each other, the little idiosyncrasies, the like tics and habits and stuff we repeat. Turtle, the Wanty. Whoa, that's too confusing. I can't keep up. I don't understand. Well, yeah, there's some stuff for you. So I guess that it was more of just kind of a rhetorical, or not rather rhetorical. I mean, you wanted an answer, but you didn't need an answer. It was just kind of like a talking question, which is fine. That's cool. I enjoyed it. Thank you for the question. Moving on, the next one we have. So we've got 6 this evening. No follow-ups. Might keep chat short because I do kind of want to get out of here and go do some gaming. We'll see. So the next question is from Josh. And Josh asks, you mentioned liking reality shows. Do you watch Survivor and Big Brother? Are you currently watching this season of Big Brother? What are your thoughts on this season and the upcoming Survivor season if you like them? Whoa, somebody's car alarm's going on outside. Sorry about that. Thank you for the question, Josh. So I actually have not really watched either, although looking into them, it might be something that I could definitely see myself catching up on the lore that is Big Brother, which, you know, it seems like an avalanche, like an Everest of content, right? But I'm also reading One Piece, so I'm not opposed to catching up with that. That reminds me, I need to do some Love Island catch up. But all that's to say, I'm aware of what they are. I've never really seen Big Brother. I'm sure I've seen clips. I've seen Survivor. Kind of watched Survivor back in the day, but not really as of late. But yeah, I might actually look into Big Brother, because Big Brother seems kind of like a platonic Love Island kind of thing, where it's like, well, I guess it's just kind of like Survivor meets Love Island. Except they're not couples. It's just like individuals, right? People? I can't really tell. I guess we are. Yeah, it looks like we're still rolling. I don't know what that was. I lost internet completely for a second. Don't know. It's very bizarre. It's only been these last... This is what's going on, AT&T? Anybody out there? So, I haven't seen them specifically, but I'm not opposed to watching them. And I likely will catch up with them now because, you know, it doesn't usually take a whole lot of pushing me in that direction to really go down those rabbit holes of things. And like I said, I'm reading One Piece, so it's not like it'd be too much. Tried to marry a kobold, but the DM said that she didn't want to date me, so I tried to set myself on fire, but he wouldn't let me do that either. Oh, man. Found the wild card. Got the Spinema thing going for several seconds. Wizards, yeah, I very much doubt that. I doubt that they even know me. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Stop watching reality shows when they cancel Real World Road Rules Challenge. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Isn't there another thing now where it's just called The Challenge? I think it's technically the same thing. They've just kind of like rebooted it or reshaped it somehow. Because if you look it up, it says that that it's on like season 22 or something, and it's like, well, that can't be. I've never heard of this show, but they like renamed it at some point, maybe in like the mid to late 2000s. DM won't let you do anything that would promote self-damage. I'm watching Mr. Robot. Oh, I haven't seen that show. I've heard things about it. I've heard mixed things about it, maybe. Go over to your friends and watch new shows with them and use it as a reason to go out an adult. Yeah, I certainly don't watch live TV. Oh, but football's back. So, I saw somebody asking a question about the Jaguars earlier too. Not to go completely off the rails, off course, but man, I'm so excited. And I gotta say, after last night, I'm feeling a little bit better about our position in the AFC. Obviously, Pat Mahomes is a fantastic quarterback, and that was kind of an anomalous situation without Travis Kelce and also, uh, Tony dropping all those balls. But the Lions look pretty solid. So they might be a force to be reckoned with. And by the way, they don't have that tough of a schedule. I mean, we don't either, but that's one of the reasons I'm excited, I only see a couple of losses. I only see a couple of, like, maybe losses for us. And then the rest of them seem like wins to me. What do I feel about Khan having the Jags WWE belt pulled? Whoa, what? I don't know anything about that. What do you mean? Elaborate. I'm always world building something for one of the many systems you work on. Oh, that's cool. Mr. Robot, if Farina was a hacker. Ah, interesting. Is he a white hat hacker? Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Is he a robot guy? Have you ever seen Broccoli Sports? I don't know what that is. Reality show where they take a bunch of B stars at boot camp. Oh, that's really funny. I want to see a reality show where they make rich people do stuff that sucks. I guess that's what, like, The Simple Life was supposed to be, but, we know that wasn't really. WWE. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's a WWE thing. We got a question about that too. Are you guys from the future? Is that what's going on? Is that why we had an issue earlier with the internet? It's because we're, like, traveling space-time somehow? The Alien TTRPG based on the Ridley Scott movies is amazing. Oh, wow, I bet it is. What's that called? When did that come out? Mr. Robot's chaotic neutral. I'm also chaotic neutral. I can relate. Well, I try to be chaotic good, I guess. But I'm probably more chaotic neutral. Hi, Bardevice. Tell Sarah she's great. Will do. Thank you, Kathy. I'll let her know. She knows. Light speed is relative to the observer. Okay, Anthony, you're not doing anything to convince me that you're not from the future. Rich people on survival stuck on a desert island and forced to scrounge for food and water would be hilarious. Yeah, indeed. But, you couldn't get them to do it. It's like term limits. You got to get them to vote for it. They're not going to do it. It's Saturday noon here, if that counts as time travel. Oh, that's right. Yeah. We've got people that are, like, from the outback, from New Zealand, from Australia, from down under. That area. Yeah, whoa, that is... So you are from the future, see? It wasn't that far off of a crazy idea for me to suggest. Well, hope that answers the question, Josh. Maybe I'll catch up to it, and then we can talk about Big Brother and stuff on here too. Because I'm gonna say when this new Love Island thing comes around later this year, I'm probably gonna be talking about it. So everybody just be aware of that. All right. So this next question is from Julie, and Julie asks, "Hey Bard, I noticed you have a few award-winning shorts on your page." Oh, yeah, well, that's nice. Can you talk a bit more about those short films and their inspiration rather? Also, what are some of your favorite movies? Well, thank you for the question, Julie. That car alarm's going off again. What is happening? The internet, the car alarm? Who knows? Thanks for the question, Julie. Yes, so there are some shorts, some award-winning shorts on our channel. I may have talked about them on the pod before. I don't remember, honestly. So I know that Awake is on our channel, and that won the 48-hour film project for Jacksonville in 2020, and I got best writing for that one. And then the other one that's on our channel that I know of that is award-winning is Threshold, which recently won this last year for the 48-hour film festival for the whole world. And in fact, we're the first team in the first American team to win it, and I think like over a decade. So that's really cool. Those films in particular were parts of competitions, part of the 48-hour film festival, which they hold in lots of cities all over the world annually, and it's kind of what it sounds like. You have 48 hours to make a movie. So Friday, you get your you randomly draw or select rather your genre. There is a character name, a line of dialogue, and a prop that all have to be used. And so there's kind of like parameters across the board for everybody. And then you just kind of use what time you have. Typically with us, we write on Friday. And honestly, my job usually ends there because I'm not typically part of the production side of it. I'm not a huge like fan of acting. I mean, I do it and it's fun, but it's not like my love. My writing's my love, so it's like I do my writing and then there you go make it a thing. Anyway, usually we write on Friday, get it all together, and then Saturday shoot day. And geez, when they did Threshold, I think they did like, I don't know, something crazy, like 15, 18 hours straight. Really, really nuts. But it's one of the reasons it was so good. And then rather you spend Sunday post, you want to get as much in the can, as they say, or get as much recorded as you can on Saturday so that, Sunday you can get it all edited and then get it turned in. So thank you very much, Ricardo, for the donation there of the Love You All in Florida editions. Thank you. Those are fun. Yeah, Florida's always a trip. And, I'm sure that people have seen in the news lately, this dude in the hamster wheel. We'll definitely be talking about that at some point. Whether that shows up in like a Florida edition or what, I don't know, but yikes. Really nice. Wish it was the Toronto International Film Festival. Yeah, that would be nice. Today was just a tough day. It was just a long day, I guess, rather longer than I'm used to. We did shot a lot of episodes today, and then we went and did taxes today, which is just like taxing. It's tough it's psychologically and emotionally draining. So it's just been a long day. Trying to get your next film into the Toronto International Film Festival. Oh, hey, there's Justin. Yeah, we make good stuff. I think Justin and I in particular make a good team, and of course everybody that's been involved in any of those productions is great. But yeah, and then you also asked about some of my favorite movies, so I'm a little bit all over the place with my favorite stuff. Some of my favorite stuff is, A Clockwork Orange is up there for me, just because I think it's objectively, I think it's one of the more interesting analysis of just like humanity, maybe morality, maybe, I don't know, what it is to be. And then stuff like, I don't know, I just like good stories, and ones that I find myself rewatching a lot are like from a comedy standpoint, like Step Brothers, I think is one of the funniest movies all time. I think Elf is up there. I do like Will Ferrell just in general. I don't know. I don't really know how many like favorite. I guess some Green Street Hooligans is a really good movie. Drawing a blank. Christmas Vacation or Wrath of Khan. Clockwork Orange would make an insane addition. Dodgeball. Oh, Dodgeball is really good. Talladega Nights is funny. Grandma's Boy. Oh, you know what movie I was actually talking to my wife about earlier? And by the way, I should premise this by saying that this is not one of my favorite movies, but it came up because we've been watching this goofy Lifetime show. And at part of like one of the plot lines or through lines in the show was about about this guy who like went to this like Alpha Bro seminar thing. Like he like paid this guy to like teach him how to be, I don't know, like more assertive or something. Anyway, when it was going, I was like, oh, this is like that movie School for Scoundrels, which I don't even know if she even knew existed at all before I mentioned it. I'd forgotten about it until that moment, and I don't know if anybody knows what that is. It's not to be confused with Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. School for Scoundrels was a film that came out in like the early 2000s, like 2006, and with Billy Bob Thornton and the guy that plays Napoleon, not the guy that plays Napoleon Dynamite, John Heater. That's his name. It's really bizarre. It's one of those movies where I'm like, oh man, how did that get made? I was thinking about that when I saw Double Team with Dennis Rodman today. I was like, whoa. And not only did that movie get made, but that movie like $18 million. Reservoir Dogs. Oh yeah, I feel bad actually forgetting Quentin. Quentin, anything Quentin does, I'm there. Sign me up. Reservoir Dogs. Rocky Horror's good. Yeah, Pulp Fiction, really really good. Hear no evil, see no evil. Oh, Hear No Evil, See No Evil, as in Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder. Yeah, anything they do. Yeah, Silver Streak, True Romance is another favorite. Yeah, The Departed. There's a lot. There's a lot of really good stuff, and I'm excited for the future of content. I've said it before, but I'll say again. Like I think that ultimately AI art and the use of it and the implementation of it, because Hollywood seems to be sticking to its guns. I think that it's going to be annoying at first, but it's going to ultimately be good because the quote unquote true artists, the quote unquote human artists, those are going to be in higher demand. The more that these studio houses cling to this idea of, you know, we'll just make it ourselves, you can't do anything about it, then the more that people are going to be like, okay, well, then I just want to see stuff that people make on their own, self-produced stuff. Blazing Saddles, Airplane, Young Frankenstein. How could I forget Young Frankenstein? Or just Brooks in general, Mel Brooks in general. Yeah, we got way off. Oh, well, actually, we weren't off the rails at all. We were talking about exactly what we were supposed to because Julie asked about movies. So thank you, Julie. That was nice of you. Gave me an opportunity to brag a little on our accolades, as well as talk about film. Tombstone. Oh man. Oh, and you know what else? While we're at it, oh, you want to get me started on westerns, dude? Young Guns and Young Guns 2 are so cool. And Last Man Standing with Bruce Willis, which was just exactly what it should have been. Kung Fu Hustle. You know, I'll tell you, Justin's got your back on that for sure. No, 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 no. Well, I love Kung Fu Hustle. I always do this, and I don't know why. I've done it since they existed. I guess since both of them existed. I guess I've done this. I always in my mind have to like take a second to think of the difference of Kung Fu Hustle and then Kung Pao, Enter the Fist or whatever. And I know, they're not even on the same planet of movie. Maybe it's just like maybe it's the Kung that messes me up. I don't know. But I always have to remember. So Kung Fu Hustle is so good. Wow, that's actually probably in my like top 10. Kung Pao Enter the Fist is just like a fun, crazy, goofy time. But Kung Fu Hustle is like a genuinely really good film. And Hero, I remember I saw that movie in theaters. I really liked. Friday, oh, the Fridays. Yeah, Friday's so good. Halloween. Yeah, I like a lot of old horror movies too, like 90s stuff. Like I was always a Jason fan, but I mean any of that stuff was interesting and cool to me. I think I honestly looking back, I think one of the biggest appeals to me in watching those films was like the curiosity on the effects, especially the old school ones because they were all practical. That's what's so good about that horror movie Hatchet with Joel David Moore from like '03 or '06, something like that. All those effects were practical, which was kind of odd for like 2006. It's like, whoa, really? Because that was like, I think by '06 they had, it was kind of established that you just do it that way, or at least it was beginning to be established that like this is how we do effects now. So it was less common to do practical, but yeah, all of that stuff was practical. Ernest, know what I mean, Vern? Yeah, I have a bar that says that. Jason X. Oh, the one in space when it just got ridiculous. Yeah, I will say that's the thing too about like the Fast and the Furious movies. I've been critical of them myself, of the whole idea of like what is this Fast and Furious 15, where they're going to space now. But it's like, I mean, that's what they did with with those slasher movies for sure. Not just Jason, but all of them got kind of wacky. There were a couple of them that were just like straight up ridiculous for the sake of being ridiculous. So, anyway, thank you for the question, Julie. Let's keep moving on and moving on. The next question we have is from Aaron. And Aaron asks, "Greetings, Charles. You've spoken before about wrestling. You probably aren't as big of a mark as J. Ray. Definitely not. But do you have a favorite wrestler / stable / era? Thanks for the pod and all the funnies." Well, thank you for the question, Aaron. It occurs to me as we're going through these that we're a little bit all over the place with our questions today, but that's fine because I'm a little all over the place emotionally today because it's been a long and tough day. So, first of all, thank you for the question. I am most assuredly not as anywhere close to as big of a mark as J. Ray Hagley. I don't know that anyone is. I'd put him up against like I'd put him up for like wrestling fan of world's greatest wrestling fan. He's probably up there in the conversation for sure. All that's to say, I was never like a huge wrestling fan. I like wrestling, and I will say, as an adult, I appreciate and enjoy the lore way more than I actually do like watching it or even kind of keeping up with it. It's more of just kind of like a historical thing for me. Maybe that's because I'm trapped in the Attitude Era, which would be what my answer would be for your question as to if I had a favorite, stable or era. It's this. All of these guys like Edge and Christian and The Rock and Stone Cold and Kane, Mick Foley. That's the kind of stuff that I remember vividly. And I might have even had a lunchbox that was this. Or if it wasn't this, it was certainly close. Oh, the Dudley Boys are up there too. But yeah, that's the kind of wrestling that I watched when I did watch it. And then as an adult, kind of similar to like with basketball, right? Like with basketball, it's like, I was 10 in the Bulls second three-peat. I was like 10 in the middle of that. So obviously I was aware of what it was and who Michael Jordan was and stuff. But as an adult, looking back on the lore and like learning about all of the history, that's what's really cool. And speaking of that, I can use this as kind of an opportunity to just give a little promo about a video that I'm going to be releasing soon on my channel, on my Yazik YouTube channel. So a friend of mine, Justin, not Justin, we used to host the No Big Banana podcast together and may still very well do so again in the future. Justin wants to learn about basketball and he doesn't know anything about it. So I decided to make a video giving a little bit of background on like what it is, how it works, and like the history of the league up to this point. And in the video, I make a point about how I'm surprised that there's not more overlap or crossover between sports fans and nerds, just because I feel like the appeal is the same. It's about the lore, it's about the characters, the heroes, the villains, the victories, the underdogs. It's all kind of the same stuff. So maybe that video will encourage somebody here to get into basketball, but Ooh, I'm excited. I think people should start paying attention to basketball personally because we're in the last couple of years of LeBron's career, and I think things are going to get real interesting, especially if he's still there when Bronny goes in. Anywho, we're talking about wrestling. Back in your day, it was the WWF. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was WWF when I was a kid. I remember they changed it when I was like in high school. I think that lawsuit got settled, or rather, whatever it was, the case got settled in court when I was like a sophomore or something. Hogan vs. Warrior Mania 6. Yeah, there's a bunch of great stuff. The Hardy Boys. Talk to Flavor Flav at the casino. Whoa, what? You talked to Flavor Flav. The No Big Banana Live. Well, I'm not sure if we'll bring that back or not, but very well might. I certainly want to have him on as a guest on here at some point. No panda smashing chairs on heads. You never really got it. River says I never really got into wrestling. It's entertaining, but I don't know much about it. Yeah, I think you might like it too. I gotta say, I'll say this: if you are someone who is like into nerd stuff, and you're someone who's never been into sports or like sports entertainment, wrestling is where I would start. But in terms of it being like the easiest transfer of enjoying the lore, just because like wrestling, that all of that stuff, the grandiose is kind of cooked into it. Whereas with the sports, you kind of have to look for it. You kind of have to find it. You have to kind of see like, oh, well, who is this guy? What's his story? And like, what makes this combination of this team unique? And the reason I like basketball is because there's less players on either side. And so it's easier to get the whole picture, not only from individual contribution, but also like how this team works together as a unit, as opposed to like football. There's like a bunch going on, even soccer. It's like, geez, you got 11 guys on either side, and then all of them have their own. Whereas, just 5-on-5. I've heard that that's why some people like fighting, because it's just like very simple. It's just 1-on-1. The Macho Man, Randy Savage, Schwarzenegger era movie. Yeah, that whole era of the Schwarzenegger documentary was interesting, by the way. If anybody hadn't seen it, there's like 3 episodes of it, I think. It certainly is. It's just another form of reality TV, honestly. It really is. Like even sports. It's like, there are people obviously that will make the argument that they are that the leagues are scripted, and like, I don't know who, maybe they are to an extent. I doubt it. There's only so much that can be controlled. I always say, like, when it comes to any of that stuff where it's like, oh, so does it, these people got a conspiracy. It's like, listen, people can't even go when the light's green. Okay? Like, we can't even figure out trains in this place. So, like, I doubt very seriously that there's, like, store was a sponsor for Smash Wrestling here in Ontario. So you've seen quite a few legends coming through for autograph signings. Oh, that's cool. Arnold's autobiography, Total Recall. All right. Well, thank you for the question, Aaron. I hope that gives you an answer. Honestly, Mick Foley's probably my favorite wrestler, just because of the heart. I really like Edge too. Edge is really cool, and Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho was a guy, by the way, that I could not stand when I was younger. And he's one of my favorites now. And John Cena, but not as a wrestler. It's funny. I like John Cena in spite of him being, in spite of his wrestling history. I never was able to understand or get with the character. It's just the love child of a cheesy action film and a soap opera. Yeah, kinda. Fight choreography is always cool. Yeah, and I mean, those bumps are real. You can't fake that stuff. They actually do, take major hits. And it's really tough on your body and touring and like at least I mean going all over the place, going to being in a different city every night, and also just being that big. That was an eye opener for me when I remember one of the first wrestling documentaries I watched was on the Big Show, and it talks about how like he has a bus that he uses to go to wrestle because he can't that guy can't sit in a regular car and just like be in a regular car for 3 or 4 hours. First stream, long time fan. Oh, hey, Noah. Well, welcome. But you know what I mean? Like, just the nature of the size of some of those guys, it's like uncomfortable to travel. So, yeah, it's definitely real to the extent of you'd have to use the lightest screen. People start to space lasers. Goldberg. Oh yeah, Justin's a big Goldberg fan. What was his move? The gore? What a lunatic. That's so funny. All right. Well, let's keep moving. We've got 2 more questions, and then we'll do a little bit of chat before we go. So the next question is from Pirate. And so this was the question from a while ago, so you might not even remember it, but let's get into it. Pirate says, I Bard, just wanted to know a few things from you, Savvy. First, have you heard of this new drink called Dragonfire? It's a really cool adult beverage infused with glitter. Looks really cool on the displays that have lights under the bottles. I've not. Second, I saw something over on the old Tiki-Taki where someone has their players draw another player's name from a hat, and they have to make up a backstory for that player's character. And the players have to spend their time in RP sessions trying to figure out their backstories, like they've all got amnesia or something. I think it's an interesting way to get new players invested in playing the game while building RP skills. Your thoughts? Well, thanks for the question, Pirate. I've not actually heard of this drink that you mentioned, but I'm certainly interested now. Let's take a look here. Oh, wow. Yeah. Now that is what we call good marketing. Because that is cool looking. And unfortunately, I'm not able to show what I'm looking at. But if you just want to, if anybody's listening to this, wants to just Google Dragonfire and just go to images, it looks pretty cool. It's definitely cool looking. As to the other thing, so cool. I mean, what a great idea. And I agree with you. I think it does both of those things. I think that, hold on, wait a minute. Let me see what you said again. You think it's an interesting way to get players invested? But yeah, exactly. But I agree with both of those. So it's good to getting people invested, right? Because it's like, you want to know who you are, right? And it's good at developing the RP skills because I wonder if, too, that you could get more interesting or more entertaining content from someone knowing that they were building the backstory of a player that they themselves didn't have to play. Probably. You probably get a lot cooler stuff. Oh, man, if you gave me the power to create a character I wasn't going to play, man, it would be a crazy town backstory. It's a Moscato wine, the Dragonfire. Ah. Alrighty. So I can think of a dozen great monsters entities that would love to have some memories. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. So having amnesia and having to find your backstory is very interesting and a really good exercise in people building out backstories for stuff. That'd be a fun way to like just start the campaign. I mean, if you did that as like that's kind of a cool session 0, to be honest. If I'm being completely honest. And that's kind of what we did for the Wii Play. I mean, we had people, we didn't build any of those characters. I didn't even build Augustus Montgomery. I mean, I named him, but I just took the character on. We had people submit the characters. You would limit the backstories to 1 page, though. Yeah, probably. You would definitely want to have some parameters as to like limitations as well as like requirements, right? Because you don't want somebody to just like, I don't know. I feel like there should be like a particular standard as to, okay, you need these things in your backstory. I think it's part of the session 0, but they only introduce a little bit at a time over the course of the campaign. Oh, that's really, really cool. So it just kind of like, wow, that's kind of brilliant, because that just gives that automatically gives all the PCs a through line and like a plot, like an individual plot for themselves, incentive for themselves to carry on, regardless of what's going on in the overarching story, right? If the players play along, or it is generic fighter and sorcerer and rogue together. Go to a place that gives the character flashbacks. True. Or even them coming across, maybe not even, maybe it's not even a flashback. Maybe it's like a smell, or like they say scent is really, really, really strong for us with memories, right? With us humans. I don't know what that is. Probably has something to do with survival. But, yeah, it could just be something as that. But yeah, I think it sounds way cool. I think it's, and honestly, like, if I start if I play another campaign, if and when I play another campaign, that's how I want to start it. Let it be known now, Ethan, if you're out there and you're going to be the DM of that, I don't know, probably. But just so you're aware, you could even have NPCs recognize them. Put the big bad in the party as a player or NPC. Oh, yeah, man, that's fun. Oh, how cool would that be if you revealed... Oh, man. What if one of the players is the BBEG and it doesn't get revealed until the end? That's how you do that. That's the long con, the amnesia run. And as the DM, you could just kind of like plant it in there yourself, so that it was chance that somebody got that and it wasn't from another player in the party, which would make them harder to figure it out. Yeah, I like that. Scent is supposed to be linked to the strongest memories. Yeah, that's interesting. It's definitely got to do with survival. But yeah, I think it's great. I encourage people to use it. So yeah, if you're out there, try that. That's a cool thing. And you know, obviously you could put your own spin on it and stuff. Oh, that's a good point, Chris, on the Discord. That's interesting. Yeah. I do want to figure out a way to and how I'm going to do the Baldur's Gate 3 stream. That's the next mousetrap to figure out. But thank you for the question, Pirate. We've got one last question here, and then we can just chat for a little bit. I'm going to try and get out of here a little sooner, mostly because it makes it easier on my end for the post work, for the editing, but also just because I've got some stuff to do. Your 1.5 year long Dragonlance campaign ended with the Lich Wizard entering the portal to challenge Takesis? Never told them how that turned out. All right. So this last question is from Chris, as it should be. Chris asks, favorite go-to comfort meal? Okay. So there's a thing with me and food where I don't eat a lot of food. Now, I should clarify what that means. When I say I don't eat a lot of food, I'm not talking about the quantity. In fact, of certain types, I eat lots of food. When I say I don't eat a lot of food, I don't eat a large variety of foods. In fact, I have what has been now added to, as far as I know, the DSM-5 is the ARFID, which is avoidant restrictive food intake disorder. Essentially, everybody's picky when they're kids. Some people never really grow out of it. So that's to say, the list of foods that I actually eat in general is significantly shorter than the average person. But that's not to say that I can't answer the question, because there are things that I enjoy that everybody enjoys that for me are comfort foods. Any kind of sweets. Well, pirate, not exclusively, but that is one of my mains. Chicken nuggets. I would say tacos. Not tacos for me. Sorry, that's what Chris said was tacos. Comfort food, ice cream. Yeah. Ooh, ice cream's really good. Yeah. You know, now I want ice cream. I actually like sherbet way more than ice cream. Anybody with me on that? It's sherbet, by the way. I don't know where this second R comes from, but it's a ruse. It's a red herring. It's not real. It's sherbet. And sherbet is good. And while we're at it, sorbet. While we're at it, Italian ice, forget about it. You get some like Jeremiah's frozen Italian ice. That's all I need, man. And ice cream too, like Dairy Queen, like a good Blizzard. And I'll tell you what. Before a Blizzard, I would just get like a hot fudge sundae. Like just straight up vanilla ice cream and hot fudge. That's all I need. Grilled cheese sandwiches. Yeah, definitely a go-to. Sherbet, sorbet, Italian ice. Yeah. It's really great. Peanut butter parfait. Haven't had a Blizzard. Some people don't know what Blizzards are. How could you not know what a Blizzard is, dude? Sad a touch. Chapman's chocolate sorbet. Craving cupcakes now. Oh no, man! Now I've got everybody. I hope I don't ever get everybody on like a tip to go eat a bunch of sweets. After you stream, I'm just gonna go get. Yeah, I know, right? I don't mean to like. I don't mean to like push everybody in that direction. All right, Brian, I see you in there. I hear ya. Cheesecake or cookie dough ice cream? Yikes! Don't make me choose. Cookie dough is always great. I don't think you can go wrong with cookie dough anything, dude. Including cookie dough, just by itself. Publix is going to have a late night surge. Oh, hey, Cat Jazz. Welcome. Well, we are going to be wrapping it up here soon, but you've made it in just under the line. I'm actually glad that I didn't do your question this week, Cat Jazz. I have one from you in the email that I intend to answer at some point, but I'm glad that I didn't do it today since you came in late. So we'll do it next week. Gonna get off and eat dinner. Chocolate chip cheesecake ice cream. Chocolate chip cheesecake cookie dough. What? Just adding things onto it. That's what happens at the fair. That's what they do at the fair. At the fair, they're just like, what if we just combined all of the worst things for you? Hey, listen, I understand that this is already like almost completely 100% sugar, but what if we took that thing and then we fried it in oil? What then? And it's like, what? At least the shows like the Is It Cake show and stuff, there's like, oh man, what's that one with Christina Tosi? What's that bake show with her on Netflix? Oh man, somebody now. I like a lot of the food shows. Wait, maybe I can just look it up. You're gonna hit Dairy Queen and get a custom Blizzard. Yeah, dude, go get one. Everybody go get yourself a Blizzard. Cake Boss. Yeah, Cake Boss is good. What is that? Christina Tosi show. Bake Squad. That's it. Yeah, where the people compete to like make the thing for the people. So vague. I don't know why I say stuff like that. What are even the words that I say? That people come in. So the way it works is there's like 4 professional bakers, and they all kind of have their specialties. There's like a chocolate guy, and then there's like a girl that's really good at cakes, and then this person's known for this, etc. Anyway, there's 4 of them, and the way that it works each episode is that somebody comes in and they have like this contract for whatever it is. It's like, okay, so our Uncle Billy's turning 62, and we're gonna have a jet ski themed birthday party for him. And so then all of those bakers make their version of like what they think it is, and then when the people come back, they pick the thing that's the coolest. It's really cool because I don't like that nailed it show. I don't like that where it's like messed up. It's like, why am I going to watch somebody spend the time to bake and put the stuff together if it's going to be all goofy looking? The guy who can make anything out of chocolate. Yeah, the Frenchman. That guy's crazy. Is Ace of Cakes still a thing? I don't think that it's still on, but I've definitely seen it. Bake Off, John Travolta and Nicolas Cage swap roles in this clash of master chefs. Listen to me, I would watch that movie. Dude, if they made a Face Off 2, I would totally see it in the theaters. How could you not watch that? I don't understand how you wouldn't be able to. And we are in chat at this moment. We've officially transferred over into. That's to say, let's talk about good things of the week, because man, I have had a weird, rough day. I've mentioned a few times. Anything good going on out there for anybody? I'll start. My good thing of the week is we got our taxes done. I still have to do my personal ones, but we got the business ones done, and that's a huge headache and a huge thing off my mind and a huge relief. So that's one good thing for the week. If even if it comes on Friday afternoon. And well, you're more than welcome, Ron. I'm happy to do it. As I said at the beginning of the episode, I was debating on doing today's episode, and again, I had a tough day, and I would hate to know that a listener of this podcast was having a bad day, and then on top of that, they didn't have the podcast. So we're here. Let's see what's going on. Good stuff. My brother used to watch Cake Boss. That's probably not a good thing of the week, but that's still cool. Anything Guy Fieri. Got to see your granddaughter for the first time. Nice. Congratulations. Tomorrow's your first weekend off with your new position at work. Son's 8th birthday. Ooh, Halloween. Oh, 8. That's fun. Vacation Sunday, leaving at like 7. Officially filed the paperwork for your contracting business. Nice. Congrats. Best of luck to you in your business endeavors. River says my D&D game started up again this past Saturday. The session went well despite losing 3 players, and you're glad friends had fun. Good. Yeah, I remember you had mentioned that. Sorry to hear about that, River. But hey, if anything, it just gives more, it's a little more wiggle room for stuff. So, and you could make things a little scarier for them. Not 100% good, but played our session tonight. Stallhound. Oh no, not the Stallhound. Ruby's birthday yesterday. Whoa, what? Happy birthday, Ruby. Did some art for the first time in years. Nice. Keep that up. BG3 is consumed every evening this week. Probably too many hours. Gonna play more. Yeah. It's a lot. And oh man, and then of course like Starfield's coming out, and it's like, or rather it's already out. And you know what else, dude? 2K24 is like already here. Listen, hey game developers, I only have so much time in my life already. I'm already too consumed into the world of loving Baldur's Gate 3. I do not need Starfield and then of course 2K, but I will say I'm considering doing streaming, and I don't know what it's going to look like or where it's going to be. If I do it in such a way where I'm just like streaming stuff like 2K and Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield, maybe all 3 of them, then I don't know. We're going to see. But if it can all work out. And yes, River, I agree. That does need to happen at some point. And I'm hoping that they will add, like, I know that they were talking about adding this feature where you can kind of wardrobe players out. So if for any reason one player can't be there, you can kind of rotate it in. Man, I wish it was 5 or 6. I wish that it was a party of 5 or 6. I think that that would make all the difference in the world. Just a couple of more people, because that, I think, would afford for you to really allow for like just pure support classes. Be so fun. Lego makes for some of the best buildings, castles for miniature games, and D&D maps. Oh yeah, no doubt. Oh, and you know what else good? What else is good? And we talked about this, I think, on an early episode of this podcast, but just a refresher and reminder for anybody: the pet store, aquarium decor. Yeah, you're welcome if you didn't know about that. If you go to the pet store, you go to the aquarium section, they got all kinds of cool stuff. Combine Starfield and Baldur's Gate 3, shoot the goblins with jetpacks and laser. Oh man, see, you say that, Olin. That's the future. That'll be the future game. Is that it'll combine those kind of properties and ideas. Oh man, that would be really smart of them to follow up with like a Spelljammer version. Be really cool. I mean, I guess they can kind of technically do that already with what they've got. All right, well, here we are, gang, at the end again. I can't believe it. These things go by fast, and I'm really happy that I decided to do the episode because I got to hang out with all of you cool people and wish Ruby a happy birthday. Everybody tell Ruby happy birthday if you haven't already. Chris is already on top of it. Happy birthday, Ruby. All right, everybody, we're at the end. So you know what the deal is. The audio for this podcast will be available tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be back here, same time, wait a minute, let's try it again. I will be back here next week, same Bard time, same Bard channel, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, streaming on the Man Shorts YouTube channel. As I mentioned earlier, the audio for this podcast will be available tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just a quick reminder before we go, please send all of your questions, concerns, complaints, queries, criticisms to bardadvice@gmail.com. It also looks like Bard Advice. If you want to get merch, you can do so at manshorts.com. And if you want to contribute to anything that I'm doing musically, notably the development of my third album, Organized Lightning, you can do so directly via PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, all of which are Yahzik, Y-A-H-Z-I-C-K. I hope that everybody has a fantastic weekend. I hope everybody has a fantastic week. I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Have a good one.